When it comes to video game achievements, sometimes there's nothing more satisfying than accidentally stumbling upon a hilarious secret achievement that you did not expect to discover. Sometimes though, players do embarrassing or disturbing things in a video game, and lo and behold unlock an achievement, often mocking them for their shameful behavior in the title. So today we are taking a look at some of the worst crap that you can pull and be rewarded for, in our list of the top 10 disturbing video game achievements that will make you ashamed. And at number 10, Cross My Heart and Hope to Die. In Dead Space 2, there is one moment in the game that many players found particularly cringeworthy. Not because it's embarrassing or awkward or resonates in a way that makes us want to secretly crawl within ourselves. Too specific there? Rather, it's because it takes a sharp object and puts it way too close to an eyeball. We're talking the eye poke machine. After you crawl inside of it, you need to properly align the needle to your pupil in order to get beyond that portion of the game, and also not die. Whether you manage it successfully or fail, the outcome is gruesome. If you succeed, there's a small trickle of blood that pours out from your eye. And if you don't, well, this happens. Yep, utter nightmare fuel. Anywho, you get the achievement if you survive the eye poke machine, not if you fail, so maybe try your best to not have your eyeball and your head squished to smithereens. Generally, that's how I approach life. Moving on to number 9, Horse Puncher. In 2010, a game called Darkest of Days was released for the Xbox 360 and PC, and also Mac computers, but no one ever really thinks about those. Its plot revolved around time travel during various real-life wars, including the American Civil War, World War I, World War II, etc., etc. And if you punch a horse in the game, you'll get an achievement called Horse Puncher. It's pretty self-explanatory. But the worst part is, it's not just punching the horse. You need to straight up murder it with your punches. So you're literally beating a dead horse at some point after you've punched enough that you've killed it. Speaking of horses though, in at number 8, Dastardly. In 2010, Rockstar Games released Red Dead Redemption, a western action-adventure title that was a spiritual successor to Red Dead Revolver. It was a huge success both with gamers and critics, and eventually led to the equally highly successful Red Dead Redemption 2. Keeping in the theme of Rockstar games that push the boundaries and also western motifs, there's one achievement in the game that you can unlock called Dastardly. That really is exactly that. You know in those old western movies where we see a damsel in distress get tied up by a sinister cowboy and then left on some train tracks, only for a heroic cowboy type to race in on his horse and then save her right before a train rolls along, preventing her untimely death? Well, in classic western film fashion, you can do exactly that. Kidnap an NPC woman, tie her up, lay her down on the train tracks, and wait for a train to come chugging along. But in order to get this achievement, you need to let the train actually smucker her. And kill her. Guess there's no heroic cowboy figure to come swoop her off the tracks this time around, eh? I mean, it's kind of fun being an asshole in Red Dead. Moving on to number 7, View of the Valley. Nudity in video games has always been a little weird, especially in older titles where the graphics aren't overly, well, realistic, to say the least. But apparently, there's quite the trend in Japan with games awarding you for being ever so slightly perverted, like in Asura's Wrath. In chapter 10, there's a point where Asura is chilling in a hot spring, and is with a scantily clad woman tending to his needs. Now after the cutscene, when you have control over Asura again, you can choose to either look away, stand up, have a drink, splash the water, chug your drink, there's lots of options. Or you can look around and just stare at your female companion's chest. If you stare long enough, you'll unlock an achievement titled View of the Valley, which has a description that reads, "Given to your male instincts." Yeah. Good job, you just ogled an NPC's boobs. Moving on to number 6, Turd Burglar. As if this is any better. In Duke Nukem Forever, if you collect poop from a toilet, you'll score yourself an achievement called Turd Burglar. How does one become a turd burglar? Well, you need to get yourself in a bathroom, find a toilet stall, and then take a peek in a toilet bowl to see if there's any human poop floating in there. If you hit the X button, you'll pick up said poop and unlock the achievement. They'll also be carrying poop around with you, so there is that. Choose wisely where you throw it, friend. Moving on to number 5, I Did It for the Trophy. As if that title should alleviate you of all your guilt. In Yakuza 0, a game that was initially released in 2015 as the 6th entry in the Yakuza video game series, there is a video booth location in the game that you can uncover, in which you can watch erotic videos. Now, most of these are unlocked by completing side quests in the game, But once you watch them all, you'll unlock an achievement titled, "I did it for the trophy." Yeah, sure you did. The clips are all made up of women wearing lingerie posing in suggestive ways, so don't get too excited. There isn't full-blown nudity in this one. Although perhaps the best part of this whole feature is the fact that after the clip plays, the camera cuts to a box of tissues, and a text box appears in which your character reads, "Whew," which is actually pretty hilarious. Moving on to number 4, the menace to society. From Fable 2, we have a joke achievement that no longer really holds up in today's political and social climate. So in the game, there is an expression manual that you can buy at Fiction Burns in Bowerstone Market called the Perv's Handbook, which will teach you the vulgar thrust, which is an expression that is described as, "Sway your hips and shake that ass like the true sexual deviant you are." After you learn it, if you go around and sexually harass NPCs in public with it, someone will eventually report you to the guards. But apparently, you need to be persistent, because just like in real life, not everybody reports when they've got a creepy perv violating them and intruding on their space. Now if that doesn't work, just take it to the next level and get naked. And if that still doesn't work, just go up to a guard and do it. And bam, there you go, Menace to Society achievement. You'll pay a fine, and that's basically it. Ugh, a little too close to home there. Moving on to number 3, scrotality. Ever wanted to sick a dog on some random dude and watch said dog rip off his family jewels and then gawk at the whole thing in hilarity? Well, if you do that in the 2010 game Dead to Rights Retribution, you'll not only get the satisfaction of knowing that that's something that you can do in a video game, but you'll also get an achievement for it. Better yet, an achievement called scrotality. Get it? Like fatality, but scrotum. Fun stuff. Gotta love wordplay. Anywho, in Dead to Rights Retribution, there's part of the game that allows you to control protagonist Jack's dog, and the animation of seeing your canine best bud literally tear at foes, practically lifting them off the ground and turning their bodily bits into a chew toy is quite the visual take in. Also, is he a husky? No. And at number 2, Too Far. This would not be a disturbing achievements list if we did not include some South Park on here. This one comes from the first major South Park video game from 2014, The Stick of Truth, and it features an aborted Nazi zombie fetus. Classic South Park. There is a boss battle at Unplanned Parenthood, the game's equivalent satirical take on Planned Parenthood, in case you did not catch that, and you need to destroy Khloe Kardashian's fetus by targeting its umbilical cord, otherwise it will continue to come back and regenerate. Once it's dead, fart on it. And that, my friends, is how you unlock the Too Far achievement. Apparently killing a fetus isn't as far as farting on the dead fetus that you killed is. So, the more you know. And finally, in at number 1, R. Kelly's protege. Once upon a time, in 2002, the Chicago police investigated R. Kelly concerning a sex tape with a girl that was allegedly 14 years old at the time. Gross. In 2013, reporter Jim D. Rogatis, who had been following the piss trail of this alleged sexual misconduct of the rappers, described what was in the video, noting that R. Kelly urinated in the girl's mouth, telling her that she was receiving his gift.
Do this stuff. This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me.
Anywho, how does all that tie into video game achievements, you may be wondering? Because the gloriously satirical and controversial Postal 2, which came out in 2003, created an achievement called R. Kelly's protege, which requires you to piss in someone's mouth in order to get it. Now, in order to successfully get the achievement, you've got to piss into their mouth long enough for them to throw up. To be fair, peeing is a very useful game mechanic in Postal 2, but gotta give it to them for being on point with that dig. Alright, there we have it, friends. What's the worst achievement you've ever gotten in a game? What's one that's made you feel a wee bit embarrassed? Or ones that have just, downright shocked you? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for more lists just like this one. And hopefully less zombie Nazi fetuses. I mean, that's what I always hope for at the start of my day. As always, thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you all in the next video. Fetuses!